folks, this is Sada here, and we are learning Laravel Dusk together. In this tutorial, we're going to cover the sign-in form, and which is included in Jetstream. But things are going to be slightly different if you have learned about Laravel Dusk before on Laravel 5.x or 6.x or 7.x for that matter. Laravel 8 is slightly different, and especially since we use Teams, the setup and everything is going to be different. More on this later. Let's dive right into it and start with PHP Artisan Dusk. Dusk make user login. All right. As you can see, the file is here. All right. And I mean, your first hunch might be that we might need Faker, just like in register, we might need Faker to generate data, but we are not going to use Faker. Instead, we're going to use factories for generating data. And in this tutorial, I'm also going to introduce you to the setup function. So what's going to happen is we're going to start with, of course, use database migrations, just like all of the tests. And then we're going to declare a public function here, public function setup. And okay, remember, this is the important bit. It has to return a void. If you do not return a void, then this is going to give you trouble later on, and it's going to result in quite a few errors. You also need to include parent setup. Okay, and then now it comes to generating the user. Now normally in like the previous versions of Laravel, this is something that you would do, for example, and create, and that would be it. But as you can see, it is giving an error. Normally it would not give an error with the previous versions, but with Laravel 8 it is throwing an error, and it says undefined function factory. All right. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. And since, as I said, we have used Teams while installing Jetstream, what we're going to do is we are going to use Teams. And first of all, we're going to go to the team model. And I've already made the changes here. I'm going to, this is what is not included as such, but you are going to need to import has factory, and you're going to say use factory here. Now this is important because the teams we're going to use a team factory instead of a user factory. I've also generated that just to speed things up. And if we open that, that is going to show you, that is going to generate a user in the process. So as such, we can do this. Sorry about that. As such, we can do this. Like the same thing here. User factory create. But this is going to create a user, but this is going to throw an error because, for instance, if we save it to a variable user and we dd user and we run this test. Okay, for once it's showing, all right, we need to import user. Why I'm showing you this is because this would be your first inclination when you're writing the test, but things are going to be different, and that's what is the point that I want to prove. Sorry, app models. I'm also getting used to this. Okay. So now the array is changed and it says call to undefined method database factories user factory create. So as you can see, this is not working here as such. So what we're going to do is we are going to repeat the same with team, and we're going to say team factory create. All right, team factory create, and we also need to, of course, import team. We're going to leave user there because that is going to be used later on. So we're going to import team and the team model, and we're going to generate a team. Now let's die and dump the team and see if this works. All right, so as you can see, it is generating a team, and in the process it is also generating a user. All right, and if we go to the database, you can see that there is a team that has also been created. So now once we have confirmed that a team has been generated, what we're going to do is we're going to use the last user as an last user and take the email and name entry from there and use it. So let's call it, just for the sake of explicitity, let's call it user email. And this is my favorite. What I normally do is I try and tend to target the last user created, and this has a lot of benefits. We are going to discuss that in further detail later on. So what I do is I would say user and then order by ID and descending. So this is going to get the last user. All right, first. So from descending, it will take the first user, and we want the email. In the same way, we would also like the name. All right, and just like all the other tests, we are going to use the user email and user name. All right, one thing, we have to obviously rename the test. So we're going to rename it to user can log in with correct credentials. So a user can log in with correct credentials. This is going to be the name of the test. And now since we've got the right data, and we can quickly do a DD to make sure that everything is as planned. Username and user email. All right, if we run the test. All right, so we get a name and we are getting an email. So everything is as planned. So now coming back to the browser, we're going to go to /login. All right, so this is now the test itself. And the first thing that we would like to do is to see that email is there, just to make sure that the form is showing. All right, and the next thing that we would like to do is we will open the login.blade.php. And okay, now up until now we've been targeting input elements by their name. Now this one also has a name. Both of them have a name, but we also see that both of them have got IDs. So another way of targeting these is by ID, by the ID. So what we're going to do is we're going to say type and we're going to say email, and we're going to use the user email that we grabbed. No need to dd anymore. So user email. All right, so we're going to grab the user email and type it in the email section, and we are going to grab the password. Now, when you're targeting some when you're targeting something, when you're targeting a field by their ID, you need to actually follow it up with, you need to actually start it with a hash. So now this is email and password, starting with a hash, and that means that this is being targeted by ID. Now, just like before, we are going to hardcode the password, because password word is the password asset that is being generated. A lot of repetition of password, really. And okay, so we're done with typing, and one thing that remains now is pressing the login button. So again, just like before, press, and we are going to say login. Again, matching the case as it is visible. In case of buttons, you have to match the case. In case of cert C and everything, you have to match the case. Otherwise, it could throw errors. All right. Okay, so we're going to visit login, and we are going to see that the word email is there, and then we're going to target the email by ID and type in user email, and we're going to type password, and we're going to press login. Now, there are two things that we want to see, actually probably three, but let's see. So one thing that we want to see is there was a screenshot that we took, and this time around we're going to try and see if Laravel Jetstream is there. So Laravel Jetstream. So assert C Laravel Jetstream. So we want to make sure that Laravel Jetstream is there, and we also want to assert maybe that the path is /dashboard. Now this is going to make sure that we are on the path dashboard, and I think this should suffice. So what we're doing right now is, also one more thing. Maybe I think when you go to the dashboard, there is on the top of the page there is the name of the user as well. So what we're going to do is we are going to look for the username as well. And let's see if this gives us a green. So it should go to the page, and it should use the email, user email that we have generated, because once we generate a team, this is going to generate a user itself in the factory, and then we are going to target that last user that is saved in the database, and we're going to take its email, and we're going to take its name, and we're going to take its email, and we're going to use that email to log in, and using password, which is the standard password, and trying to log in. And once we do, we should see Laravel Jetstream. We should see that it is on the dashboard page, and also that the username is also visible. So let's run the test and see how things go. All right. So it's fairly quick. So you see that that one test was run, and there were 4 assertions. That means our test is passing. So this is something really amazing. So again, within one minute, without having to lift a finger, you immediately know that your form is working. Now this can be integrated in the CI/CD pipelines, and you can even, otherwise you can, anytime you want to have a look, you can quickly run all the tests and you can quickly see as to how things are going. If there is any errors, you can stop the deployment and stuff like that. So there are a lot of uses that we're going to cover later. So running it again. All right. So maybe, for some of you that happened quite quickly. So let me introduce you to one more thing, and that is pause. So when you press login and you want to really kind of see for yourself as well, maybe, and you might as well want it to wait for about 5 seconds. So what you can do is you can add a pause of 500, and that will add 5 seconds. So that'll give you now more time on the dashboard page. So you can also actually have a look that whatever we are looking for is there. All right. So that was also quite fast. So I think let's do a 1000. Actually, let's do a 2000. I think that'll be better. All right, so basically 1,000 is 1 minute, I believe. So let's make it 3,000 just to make sure that we have enough time, and I can show you everything that is manually visible as well. Just like you're testing manually all the time, you're having a look at everything. So you see every time there's new data being generated. So you can see Laravel Jetstream is there. All right. We make it 5,000. Okay. Take us. So Laravel Jetstream is there, and the name of the user is there, as you can see. And we can also see that we are on the dashboard. So this is pretty much it for the user login. What I'm going to do is, right after I'm finished with this video, I'm going to push the code, and there is a repository in which we are I'm actually maintaining all of this code so that you can have a look. So this is going to be fairly easy. I'm going to include the link in the description, so you can go to the repository and you can have a look, and you can try some of the code as and how you like it. So thank you for watching this episode. Let's move on to the next lesson.